Hi, I'm Ania. I would like to show you today how to create nice looking tabs in Divi, but we won't be using the default tabs module, and instead we'll use blurbs as titles and standard sections for the content. So let's have a look at the layout we'll be creating. As you can see, we have 4 blurb modules here with nice hover effect. And if I click any of those blurbs, you can see that they work as tabs showing the different content for each tab. And what's great about this is that you can place any modules you like inside each tab, as it's just a standard Divi section. Let's go ahead and recreate this layout. Okay, so as you can see, I just created a new page. I will choose to use the Divi Builder. And first thing I want to do is remove the padding from the section. And also I will add custom CSS ID of blurb tabs. For the row settings, it is important to make it full width and also choose to use custom gather width and set it to 1. I will also remove the padding. Okay, next step is to add our blurbs. So I'm not concerned about the number of columns because we'll be setting the width of a blurb using Flexbox. So you can have 4, 6, 8, any number of columns, and we will control it via CSS. I'm adding a new blurb. Let's call it Discover. You can choose to have title, description, use icon, or don't, just leave only the title. It's up to you. What's important is we have to set the blurb URL, and it will be different for each, but each has to link to one of the tabs later. Next, I will choose to use icon. Let's add a background color. And in the design tab, I will set the icon color to be white. And I want to have different icon size for mobile and tablet and phones. So I will decrease the size of my icon. And I will also want to make sure my text is centered and it's light color. And I want to have different font size for mobile as well. What I will also do is set some padding. I'm giving it 40 pixels from each side on desktop, and then for tablet I will decrease it to 20, and for the smartphone let's set top and bottom to 10 pixels. And what's the important part here is we need to add a custom class. Let's call it tab title. And that's it. Let's save. The next step is to duplicate the blurb. We'll change the title. We'll change the link URL and also the icon and the background color. Let's save and make another copy. save. And the last one. Okay, now if we update the page, we can see what we have done so far. So this looks pretty good. Now we need to edit it with CSS. I'm using the Chrome browser. If you right click, choose to inspect, you will all see the source of your page and the CSS which is being applied. If we are going to use Flexbox, we need to find the parent element for our blurbs. So as you can see, these are the blurb modules, and the parent container is actually a column. So let's add a new role to blurb tabs section and column within that section. And we'll say display flex, align items center, justify content center, flex wrap. That will be useful for mobile styling. Okay, that's looking pretty good, but we will also need to set the width of each blurb. So let's add a row of, for each tab title within our section, we say we want this to be 25% width. Okay, that's looking great. Now let me open my child theme style sheet. I'm connected through FTP with my server, so I can edit my child theme style CSS file directly, but you can place your CSS in the Divi Theme customizer as well. Let me grab this and place it here. That's not okay. I will save the file, and now if I refresh the page, it should stay the same. Great. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to add a hover state for each blurb. We need to take our blurb and add some style for hover. We'll change the cursor to hand cursor, which is called pointer, and we'll change the background color to be something almost black. We may also want to add some transition for smooth transition. Okay, let's save that. And now if I refresh, yep, that's very nice. Okay, but what about the mobile view? If I resize my browser window, it's looking pretty good, but yeah, we need to fix how it looks for smaller screen sizes. We need to write some media queries. For tablets, it's max with 767 pixels, and let's say that when it hits that size, we want each tab to be 50% width. If it's smartphone, let's set it to full width. Okay, refresh the page. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we might want to remove the margin here and maybe move the icon to the side on mobile view so it takes less space. Okay, let's inspect that. Which element has this margin? I'm guessing it's, yeah, the main blurb image. As you can see, it has margin bottom of 30 pixels. If we make it 0, that will look much better. Actually, maybe make it 10 pixels. We will remove the margin on mobile. Okay, let's refresh. Yes, that's great. And we can again use Flexbox to move the icon to the side. The parent container is this one. If we make it okay, we'll need to add some margin to the image. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's remove the padding from the header as well. Okay, so first thing was the blurb content. And then the image margin, right, let's make it 30 pixels, and also the H4 module header. Padding bottom set to 0. Okay, that should do it. Save and refresh. Lovely. Okay. As you can see, that looks very nice. Now we need to create the rest of the page structure. We'll be adding 4 sections, 1 for each tab. Like I said before, it doesn't matter what you put inside the section. So I'm just going to place some sample image here and some text and some dummy content. What's important is we need to set the custom CSS class for each section, tab content, and each section needs to have a unique ID we used before. And I will also add a background color. Now we can duplicate the sections. We need 4 of those. And I'm just going to go inside each one to change its content. I will change the text here. Actually, this is design. This is discover. This should be develop and deliver. And like I said, unique ID for each section. Okay, let's update the page. Now, if we refresh, we have 4 sections, but we don't want them to be visible at first, so we are going to use CSS to hide them. To hide the sections, we just need to use the custom CSS class we gave for each of the section. It was tab content, and we set it to display none. If I save and refresh, now we need to use jQuery to actually make it work. So we want to show each section on click on the blurb. There is a few different ways you can place JavaScript code in a Divi website, but what I like to do is I place it within my child theme files in a custom script.js file. I'm using enqueue function in my functions PHP. As you can see, it loads my custom scripts.js file, which is inside the JS folder. You can see my child theme files here, and there is the JavaScript file as well. First, let me paste the jQuery function, and we want to target each of the blurb. What we need from each blurb is to get the href attribute from a link to know which section it connects to. As you can see, we are setting a variable section ID, and it's taken from the tab title element and looks for the A tag in and takes the href attribute from this link. We will also want to remove the link because we'll be using our own custom function for click event. So each time the tab title is clicked, we want this to show the correct section. But we also need to hide the other sections. Okay, let's see how that looks. I will save the file, refresh the page, and as you can see, it opens good tab each time I click different link. So that's great. But what I think it's necessary here, that we mark the active tab, make it look different, so we know which one is active. And to do that, we're going to add a custom CSS class. So let's go back to the JavaScript file. We want to add a class of active tab, and we will remove the active tab class from other elements. And now let's add some style for the active title. So I'm taking my tab title, and when it has active tab class as well, let's change its background to be the same as the background for my section. Okay, I will save the file, and now if I refresh the page, lovely. We want to change the icon and the title color as well. So let's inspect that. It's a span element with ETPB icon class. So let's go back to our style sheet. And make it darker. I will save, and if I refresh, it didn't change, but as you see, it's being overwritten because the color for the icon is in line from Divi. We need to add an important rule. So let's head back here, add important. Okay, once again I will refresh. Great, and the title is actually an A element link inside the module header h4. Let's make it black. Save, refresh. Wonderful. Let's have a look at the original demo page once again. As you can see, you can also play with some animations. And that's it. You should be able to recreate this layout. You can find all the CSS and JavaScript code on my blog. And also, if you just want to simply get the layout, you can download the JSON file and import the layout to your site and make your customizations there. Okay, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks for watching. I hope you find it useful, and see you next time.